the mile, or what I usually ran in high school track, the 1600 meters. Over the last 5 years, I've become very well acquainted with the 4-lap race. With the help of wonderful coaches, teammates, and family, I have learned what it means to be a miler. But I wasn't always that fast of a runner. This is the story of how I became a miler. And before you say anything, yes, this will hold some similarity with the Athlete Specials Sub 4 story. But then again, it's literally the same event, so you can't blame me. Okay, here we go. The first time I ever ran a mile, I was in 6th grade, and I ran 8:02. I remember being incredibly breathless and irritated, especially after having to slow down and walk. Twice. When I crossed the finish line and the gym teacher called out, 8:02, I felt off. I had been so close to the 8-minute barrier, and I knew if I tried again, I could break it. I asked the teacher if I could retake it. The teacher was perplexed, but allowed me to retake it the next day. When I came to school the following day, I ran 7:42. It had hurt just as much, but I ran 20 seconds faster. Right then and there, I like to say something clicked inside of me. I needed to see just how far I could improve. At the end of the year PE mile, I clocked a 7:22, another 20 seconds. As 7th grade started, I knew I had to join cross country. This running thing was starting to draw me in. I first ran the 2-mile distance in a 15:07, dropping it to a 13:22 by the end of the season. Though I was running twice the distance, my new mile PR was technically a 6:41. At this point in time, I was racing completely against the clock. I was a mid-pack runner, and the thought of ever going for the win never even crossed my mind. Right when I was supposed to join track, I broke my wrist and got tendonitis in my left knee, so there would be no track for the 2019 season. But in the few preparation months before, I did manage to get my time down to a 6:03, then a 5:53, and then a 5:48. So my 7th grade personal best was a 5:48. Once I healed, I felt shortchanged and started running over the summer. My training was less than ideal, but at least I was out there running. I switched into a private school going into 8th grade, but still joined their cross-country team. The season, it was spectacular, but we didn't run the mile, so I won't mention how it went in this video. What was different about this high school was they didn't have a track or a track team, so I spent my spring training on a nearby high school track. Through multiple time trials, I got my time down to a 5:29, then a 5:27, and finally a 5:18. My training was still quite horrible, I didn't have a coach, and I was only running track workouts in preparation for these time trials. But nevertheless, my 8th grade PR was a 5:18. Here's where we get to the good part, 9th grade track. For my freshman year, I was determined to run on an actual team, so I joined my local public schools team with hopes of making a name for myself. I had run 5:03 during preseason training and comfortably made varsity. I met my future training partner, Mitchell, and we began working together to reach greatness. Though I had a killer kick, he raced smarter and was a faster miler than I was. Training with Mitchell was exactly what I needed. Mitchell,
Yeah.
smile. It's about time I mentioned just how lucky I was to have the coach I had on this team. She taught me every strategy I use in the 1600 and gave me incredible advice and post-race tips after every mile. A huge part of my progress is thanks to her. Now, I had a bit of a rough run in 10th grade when it came to the mile, despite improving substantially in the 800 and 32. However, my race execution did get a lot better. In my 9th grade mile PR, I split a 72, 75, 77, and 68. Not optimal. In 10th grade, I improved by only 4 seconds, but raced it as 72, 74, 72, 69. A bit better, but still a lot of room to improve, especially when it came to how I stacked up against others in my league. For junior year, I wanted to step it up. Now, before I cover the most recent year of mile improvement, let's recap. Starting from an 8:02, in 4 years I had lowered my time to a 4:48, an average of 48 seconds every year. In 10th grade, my mile was ranked 34th in the league and 145th in state. By 11th grade, it became 30th in state and 11th in the league.
I was only 145 pounds when I finished my 10th grade season. In the winter months before 11th grade track, the 2023 season, I decided to pick up calisthenics and start putting on weight. This was mainly to fuel my 800 progress, but it didn't hurt my 1600 progress either. I also trained properly for the first time in winter training. I averaged 45 to 50 miles a week for a solid 2 months of base training before the season. These few months before are mandatory for a big season. In my junior year mile debut, I was the same height, 5'10", but now weighed 155 pounds. That weight was basically just muscle. Keep in mind, my PR was above a 4:45, but in the track workouts prior, we'd done 2 sets of 4x400 with 90-second rest, averaging 67s for the first set and 64s for the second set. I still had a hard time believing it, but coming into a small league meet, coach said, "You're running sub 4:30 today." I stepped up to the line, and the gun sounded.
So that's my improvement in the mile, for the first 5 years at least. I hope to pursue track in college because I really would like to keep chasing that sub 4. My main takeaways. First, racing a mile hurts. I started realizing this in 10th grade when I ran the 4:48, and really came to understand just how much it hurts when I ran the 4:25. There's no recovery or easy lap, which is what I once titled the third lap. When you race it well, no single lap should be that much slower. Secondly, get out hard. That applies both to the first 50 meters and the first lap. Put yourself in a solid position right out of the gate. That way you don't have to fight to make up ground on the straightaways. I found that for the mid-race, it was easier to hold off people trying to pass me than to be the one passing. Thirdly, listen to your coach. Obviously, there are races where you have to improvise, and being a smart racer can come in handy in these instances. But do your very best to follow the plan your coach lays out for you, because they might just know a thing or two about how races like this one play out. I say this because that's exactly what I did to run 4:25. Thank you, Coach Potter. Finally, there's always more in the tank. If you're not finishing with jello legs, jello arms, and tunnel vision, you could have gone faster. It's all about what you're willing to put yourself through. The athletes willing to subject themselves to more pain, more discomfort, will always come out on top in battle involving pain and discomfort. So don't save yourself for the kick, but always kick when you reach that final straightaway. Plus, it never hurts to have a girlfriend to cheer you on. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I've been wanting to make it for a long time, and since we finally hit the 5-year mark for my 802, here we are. Thanks for watching.